And River, who's the McLean's problem child. Well, there's two problem children, right? Yeah. Well, actually three, if you count.
It's not because of the brain tumor.
Count your 15-year-old daughter. Yeah.
He's so cute. Both of them are so cute.
River and Justin was just arguing here a minute ago about who was better looking. And
they're like, we look the exact same.
No. Justin says, I'm better looking. And River says, I'm better looking. I mean, you don't even have a girlfriend yet. And they do look so much alike, right? Because they're twins, right? But it's so funny. And I asked River, did you kiss him yet? And what'd you say?
I said nothing.
Huh?
I didn't say anything.
He said he didn't want her old man to come whoop him.
That's what you said. Look, is she shaking your head? I mean, does he have guns or?
Come on now, he works at the school.
Okay. All right. So Debbie and also Brian are here. They're the proud mom and dad of the McLean family. They're Joco proud, by the way.
Absolutely, Joco proud.
And they're from Smithfield. And so River was diagnosed when he was 6 years old. He's 11 now, going on 25. But Debbie, explain the whole story to everybody who hadn't heard it before. Oh, there you go, average day, you got twins, everything's going well, and then what?
Well, River had been having headaches, but they were months apart. So we took him to the doctor, and of course they thought, because my husband and I both have migraines and they're hereditary, that River was having migraines too. But the headaches kept getting closer, and they would be so severe. He would have a headache and he would just cry and he would say, I just want to die. That's how bad they hurt. And then he would vomit and he would go to sleep. And
this is at 6 years old, right?
Yes. And then he'd feel better. But like I said, they kept getting closer, and it was a Sunday in April 2007, and our family had gone to see a NC State softball game at Walnut Creek, and there were kids everywhere that day. It was a beautiful spring day, and they were playing and eating Italian ice, but not River. He wanted to sit in a chair in the shade. He didn't want a snack, and he just wanted to go home. So we left early, and I remember we were in the car on the way home, and I told Brian, I said, there's something wrong with my son, and I want to take him to the emergency room. And he said, well, let's just think about it until we get back home to Smithfield, and if you still want to do it, we'll drop the other kids off, and we'll take him. So we got home, and we dropped the other kids off, and we headed back to Wake Med to the children's ED. And by the time we got there, River was feeling better, and he passed all his neuro tests, and even the doctor looked at us like, okay, this kid looks fine, you know, you're in the emergency room, come on guys. We'll do a quick CT, and we'll get you guys out of here. And so they came and got River, and we went and did the CT, and you can see the people behind the glass. And he had the CT, and we were getting him back into the wheelchair, and I looked over, and everyone was looking away. But we went back to the room, and they said, about 20 minutes, we'll let you go. And it seemed like it had been forever. And I decided to run by the restroom real quick, and I went out in the hallway, and I'll never forget, anybody who's been to Wake Med to the children's ED knows that place is just buzzed, and there are people everywhere. But when I stepped out in the hall, there was no one. It was empty, and that was just like the weirdest feeling. But I went onto the restroom, and I was on my way back, and I felt somebody touch my arm. And I turned around, and it was the child life specialist. God bless them, I love them. And she said, Ms. McLean, the doctor would like to speak with you and your husband without River. And in that moment, you know your life is going to change forever. And my husband and I went into a room with the doctor, and he said, Mr. and Ms. McLean, I'm sorry to tell you, but River has a brain tumor, a very large brain tumor. In fact, it's the size of a tennis ball. And if you can imagine for just a minute a 6-year-old's head and a brain tumor the size of a tennis ball in it. It's really unimaginable. And I felt sick, and my heart just shattered, and I couldn't breathe. And I just felt like I was free falling, and there was nothing to grab onto but God's grace. But they told us they were sending us to Duke, and they wanted to take us by ambulance, but Brian and I didn't want to scare River, so we decided that we were going to take him ourselves. And we got in the car and we said, "Son, are you hungry?" And he said, "Yeah." And wherever you want to go. So River chose Bojangles. He loves some Bojangles fried chicken. So we went there, and then we stopped at Walmart and we let him pick out anything he wanted to take with him. And I think he chose like a $10 racetrack. And I remember walking around Walmart, and it felt like my feet were glued to the floor, like they just wouldn't move. And I felt like I was just walking in a fog. But we packed up. I think I did manage to get a toothbrush. And we went to Duke. And when we got there, they weren't quite prepared for River. So we were in the emergency room. And it was about midnight by this time. He was lying on a gurney, and he was sleeping in the dark. And Brian and I were sitting in the chairs, and we were just looking at each other like, what next? What does God have planned for us? You know, what will tomorrow bring? We don't know. And we just sat there and we watched him sleep. And then the next day we met Dr. Fuchs. And he is the man. And River had a 5-hour brain surgery the day after that. And the tumor is gone. And the tumor has been gone for 4 years. So he just had his follow-up in July, and we're still tumor-free, and good Lord willing, we'll be here next year, and we'll still be tumor-free.